and then we'll play through 2 of his own games and annotate them, and then we'll play through a Grandmaster Carlsen game, the real Grandmaster Carlsen. Spazza here is actually, his real name is Alexander Carlsen. So I'm going to ask him to tell us a little bit about himself. He's got a few hobbies. He's an interesting character. So voice connected, it says. Screen. Go live, it says. So I think I've got this now. My friend Spazza is going to come into the channel. You'll probably be able to hear him speak. Yes, I've got it now. I'm just going to turn that noise off because Foxy says it's not music. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, great. There we go.
Foxy's right.
Foxy's right. It's not music. Yeah, well, my problem always is copyrights. That's exactly right. Looking for something that I can play that's copyright free. Particularly if I want to do a YouTube video, because they'll pick up on it and give you a strike.
I actually have a suggestion for you, John.
Yeah, well,
you could use classical music, because that's copyright free, most of it.
Most of it, yeah. No, that's right. Use the 1812 Overture or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can you see me actually?
No, I can't see you. I can't see you. But that's not important. That's not important from the point. Oh yes, do you come up on the Twitch screen? Hold on a second. No, you don't come up on the Twitch screen. I'm going to adjust that a little bit. Bang, there. I'm going to sit over here so people get a better thing on TV. Magnus Carlsen. Now this is Alexander Carlsen, and we're doing a Carlsen video, right? So we're doing a Carlsen video.
This guy.
Yeah, this is Alexander. This is Carlsen's his real name. He's from Denmark, and he's his real name is Alexander Joe Carlsen. Right, I think that's it. Alexander Joe Carlsen.
That's me.
Okay.
That's right.
So tell us something about yourself, Alexander.
My name is Alexander. I was born in Brazil in 1995.
Oh, so you're actually born in Brazil? Yeah.
I traveled the first 9 years of my living years around the world in a boat, in a two-masted schooner.
Oh yes.
Denmark.
Ah.
And, when I came back to Denmark, I started in school as 9-year-old.
Ah. Oh, so you're really well travelled and everything. And I might.
Yes.
And you did say that you had a disability, but it would not be too clear that you were disabled because in any way, because you're such a clever guy. You're very, very good with technology, and you've got a great outgoing personality, and my chess channel finds you very entertaining, and that's why I chose to make a video with you today. Anyway, would you like to now play me 2 10-minute games?
Yes,
I'll challenge you.
I'm very afraid of the opening.
No, we're going to play. Yeah. No, we're going to. Not going to. It's not a matter of trying to destroy you or anything like that. I mean, after all, how can I destroy Carlsen? It's impossible. Okay, so here we go. Right, so I've got to challenge him. So I'm going to challenge you now. The challenge should come through for a 10-minute game. 1 second. I'll just adjust the time, 10 minutes. And what colour would you like to go first, white or black?
I think I would like to start with black.
Okay. Sure. All right then. So the challenge has been sent out. Okay, and it's been accepted. We're playing Spaz 3R_DK. His rating is 1126. He's from Denmark. And yes, his real name is Carlsen. So we've got Carlsen here on the channel. And we feel very, very, very privileged indeed to have Carlsen on our chess channel. So here we go. I'm going to play E4 against the mighty Carlsen.
To be here.
Thank you. So I'm playing E4.
Already now I'm in doubt what to play, but I'll play E5.
Okay. I'm going to play knight to F3, and it's just to attack the centre pawn. And I really appreciate you giving us your time today.
We are playing. You know, when you set me up like that and call me Carlsen and all that, I get nervous.
But that's your name. That's who you are. Don't be nervous. What we want is you just to play your best game. And if you're not sure of a move, just ask me. And what I'll do is I'll give you a few suggestions with the pointed arrows, okay? So if you're not sure, just let me know. Remember
in this particular situation, I want to go D6, but I'm not sure.
That's okay. That's all right.
My bishop out.
It's a fine move. D6 is a good move. Now in this position, I'm threatening pawn takes pawn.
And
the normal moves are. Here, I'll show you. Bishop D7 is one move, and pawn takes pawn is the other move. So you've got a choice of moves.
Bishop. Yeah, that was what I thought too. I felt like taking the pawn first, but that won't make sense.
Remember, you've only got 10 minutes, so if you take too long, I'm going to play knight here now. You played a very good move. Well played. I shouldn't be clapping Carlsen, should I? Really? But, I mean, after all, one of the most recognised names in chess, and here's me giving him a clap for a move. Excellent move. So I'm going to recapture with the knight. And normally you would play and get a piece working with knight here, or something of that nature, or you'd simply play. You wouldn't take the knight, I don't think. Yeah, bishop here or knight there. But they're saying Bobby Fischer used to always say knights before bishops, so I would really rather go there if that was me.
My idea was to take the knight.
You can take the knight. That's okay. Taking the knight's all right. The only downside of taking the knight is that you put the queen.
You should develop your queen.
You don't have to think about this move, because you could. Yeah, if a move is forced, you don't have to think about it. So that way you save time.
True.
Okay, so. Now, that's a good move. It's a good developing move, and it prepares to castle after you get the bishop to e7. So I'm going to attack the knight.
I'm going to protect the knight.
And that's a good idea. So I'm just going to castle.
Now I'm guessing that e5 must be coming.
Very good. Well well thought out. You know, you're a clever fox. Talking about foxes, we did have Robert Fox in the house. He was having a few beers and he was watching the football. We've got our State of Origin on. Anyway, I won't distract you from your game. Yes, you're quite right. E5 is a worrying threat, but you can just move back. You don't take the pawn off. If you take the pawn off, you will lose a piece, or will you? No, you won't lose a piece. That's okay. That's all right. Yeah, so now you're on the bishop. And I could take the bishop, couldn't I?
I guess.
I guess I could.
I'm trying to calculate the line with the
well, I'm going to push the pawn. Just to be difficult, I'm going to push the pawn up and try to get some space.
I feel like I gotta push some pawns, but I'm really in doubt which ones.
I see.
I'm really in doubt.
Well, if you don't want to push pawns, you don't push pawns in front of your king. I reckon they're weaknesses if you do that. But maybe you can chase the bishop away. Maybe you can chase the bishop away. That's true. Perhaps you could do that.
The bishop.
You could chase the bishop away.
Yes, like this, maybe.
And then the bishop, I can either take, or I could come back, couldn't I? Well, I'll take that bishop off, and this is where I've got to think. I could take that pawn off too. Yeah, so because I'm after a target, I want some sort of target. It's not easy to get a target off you, but
yeah.
So this is decision time.
I'll take with the knight because, or I take like this maybe.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I'll take that off. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring, because I've got a little bit better development, I'm going to bring my knight forward and attack that little pawn here. Now, if you push it, you've got to watch out for knight check, because then the castle could take the knight. So you've got to watch out for that one.
I see.
So I'm being sneaky. I'm being very sneaky.
Yeah.
And it's a real problem. But let me commend you. You've been playing very, very well just to hold out this long. It's a difficult position.
It is. It is.
I mean,
because
you can play knight here, can't you? You can play knight there, but unfortunately all your pieces are all boxed in, aren't they?
That's not so good.
No, it's not good to go back like that. But what choice have you got in this position? What else can you do? Okay, that's an idea. The whole idea is, but if I push the pawn on your knight, where does your knight go? Where does your knight go, Alex?
Only back.
That's right. It's the only square. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. And now I can take. Now I can take the pawn on the castle.
Yeah, I see. Oh no.
But you can hit my horse. You can hit my knight.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you have to. You go back to D file, right?
Well.
Or I don't see anything.
I've got an extra pawn. I like an extra pawn, so I'm going to take your knight. I've just taken Carlsen's knight. There we go. The mighty Carlsen. Yeah, you thought you were good. You thought you were a world-class player, and now you're a pawn down. I'm a pawn up against Carlsen. I'm a pawn up against Carlsen. Yes.
Oh, God, silly me. I want to double the rooks, but I don't see any good moves.
Well, you know, in chess, grabbing the open file is always good. You see that open file? Right, that's usually good. I'm going to play pawn here, mainly because that way my pawns can't be challenged, and I'd really like to change a rook off. So that
I see, because you're a pawn up.
One pawn up. Yeah, I want to push that little pawn and make a queen out of it and win the game.
One pawn is everything, right?
It is, and being Carlsen, you know that Carlsen, the Grandmaster Carlsen, we're not talking about Alexander Joe Carlsen from Denmark. We're talking about Magnus. Well, Magnus is an absolute master of the endgame, isn't he? I don't think there's anybody is as good as him.
I watched a lot of his endgames, and
you've got 3 minutes left on your clock. Okay.
Yeah.
So now you're actually threatening something here. Well, I'm going to double my castles.
Yeah.
And the move that you played was a good move. No, you should have followed up with pawn here to attack the pawn pinned against the king. Right?
Oh, yes.
Right.
Oh,
so now I'm going to...
Yes.
I'm going to check you. Right? Yes. Now you can take the castle off and hit the castle. So rook takes rook. No, I'll take your rook. Yeah, I'll do that one. I'll take your rook off. Now I'm going to bring my king up.
Then the question is, for me right now, right, is do I want to run against the H file, or do I want to run against...
Just remember, you got 2 minutes and only 2 minutes and 37 seconds. Right. Pressure.
I think I gotta be careful here. Yeah. I wanna push G5, but it looks dangerous.
Okay, well.
Oh, yeah. I can't trick you, John. Seems impossible.
Anything's possible.
What is the saying? You can do anything if you put your mind to it, right?
That's correct. Except not leave 2 pawns on.
Yes. Oh my God.
So which I'm attacking 2 pawns, not 1. So you must.
Oh, I see.
So you can resign now, because that's a really bad game, and then we can play into the next game, because that is really bad.
Yes.
Do you want to go and analyse that game now?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll have a look at the analysis and see where you could have played better, okay?
Yes.
Okay, so we're into the chess.com analysis room with Alexander Joe Carlsen from Denmark. So we're playing Carlsen today, and it's e4, e5. The great Carlsen played e5, which is a book move. I attacked his pawn, knight c6. Notice Carlsen and I are both playing all theory. Where you see the little book sign, you know it's theory. So I played d4 against Carlsen. I thought, oh, maybe I know this variation. Can I upset the mighty Carlsen? Well, he plays bishop d7. Book move. All theory. So he is a man of the world. He's probably played in international tournaments and all sorts of things. So I played there. It's a book move. And he took the pawn, star move, best move. Alexander Joe Carlsen, you're a champion. Right, and he's only 1126.
Someday.
And the bar on the left-hand side of the board gives a slight edge to white, but not much. So I've taken the knight, and he replies, knight takes knight, question mark. And the correct move is knight to f6. And remember I said during the game it's important to get your pieces out, and Bobby Fischer always said you've got to get your knights out before your bishops. So that I was right when I said that. So I played knight takes pawn, and he played knight takes knight. And that's incorrect. Because a bishop takes bishop, star move, check, queen takes, and queen takes knight gives this queen, because you brought the exchange, because you exchanged, you've given this queen a most powerful position on the board. It's exerting influence everywhere. And when we look at the game later, you'll see that it was this acceleration that you allowed the queen moving into the center of the board to be so powerful that caused you all the problems later. So I played bishop there. Apparently bishop f4 is a better move, according to the engine. But what I played was okay. You played bishop e7, star move, best move. And then I castled. Star move, best move. So let's see now. Oh, you should have played queen to g4. Now let's have a look at queen g4. Okay, castling is a good move, but queen g4, what would it do? It would attack this pawn, and it would attack the bishop, right? So that's what the engine's suggesting. Okay, the engine's suggesting that move. That move's not without problems, and I think you'd have to be a computer to survive after playing a move like that. However, you castled, and the engine says it's a good move. So I played pawn forwards, star move, it's the best move, and you played knight e8. Well, apparently, the trick move, knight here, is the best move. Okay. Wow. So that if I take the knight, you just take it with the bishop with check, and it gets all complicated. And let me show you a little variation here. If white takes the bishop, what move would you play? Well, the correct move is knight takes knight. Star move. That's right, because you can't take the rook, because knight check will win the queen. Right? So that's why the engine suggests that. So that's why the engine suggests a very hard move to find in a chess game. Right, Alex?
Yes.
So let's go back. Let's see what Alex played. I pushed the pawn and he went back. Engine says it's a good move. It's not the best move, but it's a good move. So I played h5, h4, and it's a star move. It's the best move. I probably went astray here. You played h6. Queen e7 is apparently, queen e6 is the best move, right? Just getting off the pin of this castle. So that's just a simple move. Get off the pin. But you hit the bishop. You took back, and I played pawn takes pawn. I couldn't see a better move, but the engine said that rook here is a better move. Just applying more pressure to the centre, because white's got better development, right? Okay, but I took a pawn off. You took with the queen. Yeah. I played queen takes queen, and that wasn't the best move either. But you take with the knight. A star move, best move. Now let's see how. This is the position where you came unstuck. I played knight there, right? And now the engine's suggesting there's a defence. Okay, so the defence seems to be knight here. a counter-attack.
Oh,
Threatening knight takes pawn, hitting 2 castles. That's right. So that I have it.
Yes.
If I hit this pawn, you will just play rook here, okay? And then it'll be a funny sort of game, you know?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, it's a sort of a strange game. But your game fell apart after that. But that seems to be the defence, knight there. If I could take the pawn and your castle hit my knight so you could take this one, I could move back, and then if you take a pawn, I can check you, and you can move here, and I can take your rook, right?
Yeah, I see.
But what
see.
you do is you play rook takes knight, and then I play rook here, and then you take the rook takes, and then we've got pretty much the game that we ended up with, where I'm 1 pawn in front. No, not even a pawn in front. In this position, it's level.
Equal.
Oh, damn. Carlsen could have got me after all. Okay, so we'll play one. So we'll play one more game. And then after that, what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of Carlsen's great games, okay? But we're going to play one more 10-minute game. Going to play one more 10-minute game with the mighty Carlsen. We're going to have to get out of this analysis room, go back into chess.com and challenge him again. Rematch. Here we go. Okay. Oh, he's white. He's white this time. Were you white last time or black?
I was black last time, right?
Oh, that's right. That's fair that you go white. What's your move? Oh, that's right. I played e4. Okay, well, what did you do? You must have played something brilliant. I'm going to play c5. I'll play the Sicilian. So we're playing the Sicilian defense.
I wish I knew the Sicilian. I really don't.
Well, you shouldn't have played e4, should you? If you played c4 or d4, you could have avoided the Sicilian. Well, I'm going to try to confuse you with knight to f6. And if you're not confused, well then someone might get confused.
Don't worry, I'm already confused. I feel cheeky, like going for some stupid tricks, but I don't think they will work against a high-rated player like you.
Oh, come on, you're Carlsen. Well, I don't know what to do.
Carlsen.
Well, the correct move in that position was just push the pawn on the knight. And then, of course, and when the knight moves, you just protect the other pawn with the pawn, and you have a wonderful game.
Yes.
But the move that you played is a bit suspect. Okay? So I'm going to take your pawn off. Not that the... and queen takes. Now, that's correct. Now, there was a little trap there, and had you pushed the pawn instead, I would have played queen checks and queen takes pawn check, right? So you played the correct move. So I'm going to play knight c6 and attack your queen.
Yeah, then I have to get out of here.
That's right. And all this is because you never pushed the pawn on my knight. So now you're going to have to... you give me a little bit of development, but you've still got a great game.
I feel like playing e3, but that looks stupid.
No, I think it looks like the best move. See, we disagree. I actually think that that's the best move.
E3? E3? Really?
No, queen here. Yeah, that's right. I think that's the best move in the position.
Wow.
I think it's the best move, yeah. Because what you're planning in this type of position, you'd be planning knight c3 and bishop to d2 and castling quickly on the queen side. And with the castle bearing down here, well, I can't allow all that rubbish, right? I can't have Carlsen attacking me like that. Not on my own chess stream. I've got to fight the good fight. I've got to pretend that I'm Hikaru, one of your mortal enemies, or Anish Giri, or someone like that. As a matter of fact, later we will be playing a game between Grandmaster Carlsen and Anish Giri. So we'll be looking forward to that game. And that game was played at the... that game that we're going to play through was played at the Gashimov Memorial in January 2020 in round 7. It was an English Open, King's Gambit 4 nights. Or King's English 4 nights. Anyway, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to try to confuse you with science and hit your bishop.
With science?
Yes.
Wow, that sounds
frightening, isn't it? Frightening, absolutely frightening science.
Hit me with the science.
Okay.
I can't take, right?
Why not? Why can't you take it? You can take it with the pawn or the bishop.
I can take with the pawn. That's true. My idea was going bishop b5, but that also looks a little bit iffy.
Oh, I see. Well, why would you give up a pawn on e4? You're going to think like Magnus, right? You're not Magnus's father, are you? You're not Magnus's father?
His lost brother.
So you're not his brother either. Are you any relation at all?
No, I don't think so. It's a very common name.
Oh, I see. So you're just a commoner. Is that correct? You're just a commoner. Hey, join the club. I'm a commoner too, so just join the club. Now look at this. You've attacked my queen, right? Now I asked myself, John, FideMaster Johnny. I say, well, hold on a minute. I'm going to get some advice here from my friend. Is it all right if I ask my friend for some advice?
No.
Okay, Teddy. No, I'm going to ask Teddy. No, I'm asking Teddy. Teddy, what do you think I should do? What was that, Ted? Grab the pawn. Okay, right. We're going to grab. Teddy told me to grab the pawn. You sit down there, Teddy.
I knew it.
It's not my fault. Blame the Teddy.
How do I do this, actually?
I don't know. You do know that on my channel, Mr. Carlsen, on my channel, we tell our viewers, don't make goofy moves. I shouldn't be saying this to the immortal Carlsen, but don't make goofy moves. Don't take goofy moves.
Actually, John, I think I'm lost here.
Okay, well, you want to resign, and we can get on. You can resign, or you can play queen here. Queen there's playable.
Yeah, I resign.
Okay, all right then. And we'll just have a look at what you should have done, okay?
Stupid mistake. Yeah.
Well, it was a silly mistake.
Oh, my God.
But I must admit, I feel guilty because Teddy, Christmas Teddy there, he helped me find the move. I might not have found that move by myself without my Teddy. Okay, so let's see what you played.
Your Teddy?
Yeah, Christmas Teddy was helping me with the move. Yeah, Teddy Bear. So that's when you push the pawn. See, the engine's saying you should push the pawn. And so I took your pawn off.
Pushed the horse.
And I made the wrong move anyway. In this position, I took the pawn, and the engine's telling me, no, you shouldn't take the pawn, you should take this pawn. So I took the wrong pawn.
Yes.
So there you go. So I made a mistake. I let you off the hook, and then you took back and played the best move. Mr. Carlsen, very good, very good. So I hit the queen, and he plays queen to e3. Star move, best move. So where did he go wrong? I played d5. Oh, that's the best move. I didn't realise that. Wow. And the reason why I made that move was because it attacks a bishop, but mainly because I get another piece out by pushing the pawn and releasing the power of this bishop on c8. And that was my idea behind it. You took the pawn, star move, best move. Well played. And then I recaptured. Now let's see now. You took the knight. Now that was not correct. In this position, you're going to weigh things up. Now you know that your queen was blocking this bishop, and now your queen's attacked. So what better opportunity to put your queen on a better square and release this bishop at the same time? Okay? Yeah. And then you've got, according to the bar on the side of the board, you've got an even game, right? So you could have had an even game. So you took that. Now what you did is exactly the same mistake that you made in the other game. By capturing, you've given my queen all this power. Putting my queen in the centre of the board. Look at all the power that the queen has. Right? Can you see that now?
Yes.
So I hope you've learnt something from that, Mr. Carlsen.
I really do too.
Well, now I can say that I taught Carlsen in my little chess channel, can't I? Okay, well, I'm going to leave that game there. We're going to get out of the game because what we have to do is we have to go into the archives now, and we've agreed to have a look at 2 of your master games, right? Because our friend Carlsen here, he's played some brilliant games in his lifetime. He's told you about how he's travelled all over the world, and I think he's got a business too. What's that business that you've got there, Alexander?
I'm making photography.
So there you go. Yeah, so in Denmark, Alexander Joe Photography, I think, is the name of the company, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, Alexander Joe Photography. So he's big on photography, so if you ever want to go into Spazza3R's site, or you want to go into Discord and look him up, then he's really got a bit of knowledge about photography and also about Discord if you need any help. And he's quite knowledgeable about certain things. He may, if he's not busy, be able to help you. Right, so where are we now? We're going to have a look at these 2 games. In the archives.
Yes.
All right. Archives. Where is it? Archive. There it is. Okay, archives. Leave that page. Right. Right, so now I'm going to go into others games. And we're going to look up here we are, and we've got Spazza's games here. Now what we want to do is we want to look at his game. He played a good game against Cade Chiicek of the USA. I hope I pronounced it correctly, so that Mr. Carlsen here, who's played Chiicek. Oh, there he is. 20 moves. As you can see, he played with 91.4% accuracy. Okay.
That was one of my best games.
It's one of the best games ever played in human history. I can tell you I'll vouch for that. It's one of the best games. It's an immortal game, this game, I'll show you. You'll be surprised just how good it is.
That's a great checkmate. That's a great checkmate.
It certainly is. So anyway, we're going to have a look at this game. The opponent is Cade Chiicek, and he's from United States. Okay. So white opens up with C3. And Cade responds with E5 against the mighty Carlsen. D4 is played. It's a star move. It's the best move. Pawns recaptures towards the centre. Our Carlsen knows what he's doing. Right? All best moves and star moves. Book moved by the mighty Cade Chiicek from the United States. Fighting for Denmark, Carlsen plays knight to F3, star move. Right, knight C6. And why does the great Cade Chiicek play knight C6? It's to control the E5 square. You only get this on this channel. This is fantastic stuff. Believe me. Knight C3, star move. Another star move, best move by the mighty Spazza 3R_DK. Knight F6. As Bobby Fischer always said, get your knights out before your bishops. And you'll remember that game that I played the mighty Carlsen today, this 10-minute game that I played him. I told him to play knight F6 and he played some other move first. But it's very important that you get those two pieces, the knight on G8 and the bishop on F8, and bring these two pieces out and castle quickly and get your king into safety. It's very important for beginners. So E3 is played.
Yeah.
Excuse me, it's not COVID, don't worry about it. I haven't got my mask with me, so forgive me for not wearing a mask. Now, in this position, the problem with E3, the problem with this E3 move, is it restricts the bishop from coming out to G5. So that is a natural move and it pins the knight. And not only that, the bishop coming out to G5 clears the way for the castle to go on a semi-open file, okay? And to protect the knight as well. So several purposes for that. So that's why E3 is not such a great move. It's an okay move, but it's not a great move. So bishop to G4 is played. And now we're getting right into it. This is an excellent move by Cade Chiicek, right? And now you played bishop B5. What were your thoughts at the time, Carlsen?
My thought at that time was to put pressure on the knight and develop and
get ready to castle.
After the next move, I would be ready to castle.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant! And that's why you're here today, to give lessons to the beginners out there and show us your real skill, right? Queen to D7. Excellent move.
I hope we can dig it up.
You're doing a fine job. H3, and I'm privileged, sir. I feel so privileged, Mr. Carlsen, to be able to present your wonderful game here today. People will be amazed at your brilliance, your genius. H3 is played, star move, best move by the great Carlsen. Bishop to H5. What's he thinking? Doesn't he know who he's playing? Boom, boom, boom! Carlsen thrusts his pawn up to G4 and says, get out of here. My name's Carlsen. I'm not taking any prisoners. And then bang, the bishop has to go back. It's a forced move. It may be a star move, but it's a forced move. And now the mighty knight, Carlsen's mighty knight, comes into the E5 square. It's attacking the queen. It's attacking the knight. It's attacking the bishop. He's deadly, this Carlsen. He's deadly.
True.
It's true. Yes, did you hear that? Did you hear that? It's true. Well, it must be true. because you heard it here first. And now queen to d6. Well, queen to e6 was slightly better according to the engine, but Chiicek might be a bit intimidated by the calibre of the player that he's playing. b3. Well, the engine's saying that not b3, but queen to a4 was better, putting a third piece on the knight. All the pieces would be attacking the knight, right?
Yeah.
So that would have been a better move. And now the knight comes in. The mighty Chiicek says, I'm not going to put up with this. I'm going to attack back. I'm not just going to sit there and be beaten to a pulp. So he moves his knight into the middle of the board. And Carlsen rips his bishop off. He rips the bishop off and he leaves the knight there. Pure genius. It must be pure genius. What does the engine think? Oh, the engine thinks he should have lost the knight. And Carlsen then says, well, you don't want it, you silly old Billy. I'll take your knight. I'll take your knight. So he took it off and he gets a star move for that. And he took back. That's the best move. And now pawn there and protect the bishop. Now, a lot of people will be wondering what the hell's going on. What's that for? But I'm sure he has some deep, meaningful ideas. So bishop e7's played. He should have castled queenside. And now bishop hits the queen. Well, well, well. What would you play here as black? Cade Chiicek played queen to f6, star move. This is no bunny. This is a good player, Cade Chiicek. And now d5. What a mighty move. It threatens the knight. The bishop's pinning the knight and pawn's attacking the knight and everything's on prees. So he gives him a check. He gives him a check. And now this is where you're going to get the shock of your life when you see the next move. The king moves away, star move. Would you have thought of that? Only Carlsen could think of that. He's moved his king to f1 and he's going for shelter over here. So the bishop goes to g5. And I don't know what he's doing with that bishop. And the computer doesn't understand either. So Carlsen just takes a pawn down on c6. The pawn recaptures. And now rook hits the queen. Star move, best move. And what does he play? Queen to e5. And now look at the brilliant checkmate by the mighty Carlsen. And why is it checkmate? Well, he can't go anywhere because this bishop covers the black squares. This bishop covers all the white squares. And the queen covers all the rank down there to there. So there's nowhere the king can move. There's nothing to interpose the piece. And there's no way you can capture it. So that is the end of the game. What a mighty, mighty, mighty masterpiece. That's a masterpiece. It really is. And I've got one more game to show you. Thank you, Mr. Carlsen, for sharing that with us. And now I've got one more game to go. I've got to have a look at another game here. I've got to look at one more game here. I'll go back. Oh, can't go back that way. Can't go back. It won't let me go back. So what I'll do is I'll go back into the archives. I'll do it this way. And look at others' games. I'm going to put this game up for you in a second. Again. Don't forget, if you want to challenge him, you've got his nickname here. That's right, Carlsen. You can actually play Carlsen. So if you want to challenge him on chess.com, you know his secret identity. Look at how Superman has a secret identity. Clark Kent, right? Okay, well, yes. Well, Carlsen's got a secret identity. It's Spaz3R_DK. So you can go into chess.com and challenge him. Right? You'll probably get 100,000 challenges now. Sorry if we've.
I would love to.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if we've exposed your secret identity, Superman. Right. So others games. Right. All recent games. Search. Okay. So we found Spaz's games, and this time he's going to play Vincenti 10, the mighty Vincenti 10. Where is Vincenti? He's hiding from us. You've played Cade Chiicek a few times. But yes. Vincenti 10, I've got to find him. He should be here somewhere. Where's Vincenti 10? Vincenti 10, from Poland. And it's... it doesn't know how many moves. I'm just going to do the search. I suppose his opponent is right. Here it is, Vincenti 10, and now this game is very interesting. It's 25 moves long. And you're going to be stunned. You're absolutely stunned by Carlsen in this game. The brilliance of the man, the genius, the pure genius of Carlsen. You're going to be stunned, absolutely amazed, because Carlsen lures his opponent in. Carlsen plays with 23.8% accuracy. Yeah, you heard it here. Carlsen, the Carlsen, he plays with 23.8% accuracy. Now, his opponent plays with 80.2% accuracy. 80.2! Now you think, well, how could Carlsen have won the game? Well, he did. I'm going to show you how he did it in just 25 moves. Now, watch this. You've never seen anything like it in your life. Right, here we go. And now we go into the analysis room. We've got to check this game out because you only see a game like this once or twice in a lifetime. You think the last game was good. You watch this one. Okay. Now he's playing with only just 20-odd% of accuracy. But I think he's doing this on purpose. I think he's just luring him in and then he chops the opponent's head off. Anyway, so it's D5. And now we're playing the Colle system. This is the Colle system, C-O-L-L-E system. And it's a book move by Vincenti and a book move by Spazza. Oh, and Carlsen, as I should say. And now Knight F6, that's a book move. And Bishop D2. Now this is a bit strange. It's an unusual move. And you wouldn't normally play a move like this, would you, Mr. Carlsen? Because your bishop's blocked. I suppose you give it a little bit of an extra diagonal. You might have some deep, meaningful plan here, do you? Did you think you had a deep, meaningful plan, or were you just wandering around blind? Probably wandering around blind. Yeah, go on, tell the truth.
I wanted to say I had a great plan, but...
you didn't. Well, it's only a 3-minute game, so and we've got to remember to the folks, it's only a 3-minute game. Bishop D6 is played. Star move by Vincenti. We've got to cheer for Vincenti here. Vincenti is the mighty player from Poland. He's 1,242 rating points, so he's nearly 100 rating points higher than our friend Carlsen. Now, Knight C3 is played, and as I said to Carlsen when I tried to give him training lessons for his ambitious road to the world title, I've said to him, you've got to play C4 before you put your knight on C3, and that's a better setup. And I feel humbled to be able to do training, chess training with Carlsen in my channel. Anyway, so what did he do? He played, he moved his knight. This is unbelievable. Look at this, look at this, look at this, look. I sound like a chook. He moved his knight from C3 back, and blocks his bishop and his queen. He blocks two pieces at the same time. Pure genius. Who else would have thought of a silly move like that? Right, c5. c5 is played. You got it. He's coming for you. He's coming for you, Alexander. He's coming. But you know what? You know, when his mother named him, when his mother named Carlsen, right? She named him Alexander. You know why? Because he's great. He's great. Like Alexander the Great. He's a fighter. So he plays c3 and he boxes himself in. I think he's playing hide and seek or something. Anyway, queen b6 is played, and black is very, very ambitious because black's putting all the pieces on very aggressive squares. The bishop's aiming down here. He's putting pressure on the d pawn, pressure on the b pawn. So black's playing really, really well and should be commended for his excellent play. And that's why the engine gave him 80-something% accuracy. 60% more accuracy than the great Carlsen. So c takes d, and now c takes d star move. So you didn't expect him to play a good move, did you? Well, he did. He played a good move. Now the knight comes in, star move by black. This is very, very dominant knight. And now bishop to c3. Well, the knight should go there. The silly knight that went backwards has blocked itself in, and now it can't come out again. So our friend, the great Carlsen, is in a bit of bother here. So the knight's coming out to c6. Now we've got to stop for a second and assess this position. Now the bar on the side of the board, the white and black little thin bar, it's saying that black's got a spatial advantage, but the material's equal. So rook to b1, this is another sneaky move because I don't know what it does, and the computer says it's an inaccuracy. Oh, hold on, bingo, the queen's attacked. I see. Well, it could get worse. You could blunder your queen, but you wouldn't do that, would you? Oh, he's played queen up there. Oh no, there's a check. Where did that come from? I know what it is. Carlsen's trying to lure his opponent in so that his opponent will get his knights trapped somehow. Oh, I'd like to see how it's done. Well, the king goes there. Oh, bugger, the knight's not trapped. If anything, it looks like a blunder. Knight takes pawn, check, star move. The engine's saying that white's winning. Black's winning. So the king goes there, and now he rips off his castle. So let's stop and take count for a second. Here we have Alexander the Great, the mighty Carlsen, and according to the bar on the side of the board, he hasn't got a bloody hope in hell of winning because the black is winning by about 98.99%. So how does he win the game? Well, sheer brilliance. I'm going to show you. So, okay, so he plays b4, and you think, well, how on earth could you win this game? Now, the game is only going to last 25 moves. How on earth can you win this game from this position when you're already a castle down and you haven't even got an attack? How do you win? Well, the knight comes out now, so the extra knight's coming out, and then bang, the knight's out again. So now black's got 2 knights and 2 bishops and 2 castles and the queen. So he's got every single piece he started with. Now the knight goes back. Right? Now, in this position, black has a choice. He can take the knight or take the bishop. Now, he chooses correctly the positional line, which is knight takes knight. But the bishop actually, on c3, actually is blocked by the pawns, right? It's actually blocked. It's got nowhere to go, so it's a stupid bishop. So it makes sense to try to take the knight. But of course, knight takes e-pawn looks good too. That looks like he's coming in for a checkmate. Let's see what happens. Knight takes e-pawn. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And now he takes the knight off. Right? Star move, best move. and the pawn takes the knight. Now, at this stage, it's 18 moves have been played. White's still a castle down. His king side shattered to pieces, right? His bishop's trapped. His bishop on F1's trapped, got nowhere, can't move anywhere. Bishop on C3 is blocked by its own silly pawns. The rook on B1's not even on the open file. There's the open file there. Nothing's happening on there at all. So let's have a look. How on earth does White win this mess? It's an absolute mess. Well, hold on. The genius, the pure genius of Carlsen. He plays bishop to A1. Alexander, what made you think of this wonderful move?
Actually, in this position, when I played bishop A1, it was a preparing move.
A preparing move?
I saw that my bishop was on the right diagonal.
Yes.
So I thought I wanted to keep the bishop to see if I could cheese some sort of checkmate.
Oh, a checkmate from here. You are a pure genius. We can't see it. I'm sure you might be able to see the potential in the position, but with all your foresight, but unfortunately we can't see what you're talking about. Anyway, the bishop's now attacking the H-pawn. All we can see is you're totally dead lost. But the queen goes to E7 star move. Now, if all the folks here can do is examine the bar on the side of the board, and we know that the chess.com chess engine, hasn't had a mental breakdown. No, it hasn't. The chess.com engine has not had a mental breakdown. I can assure you of that. But it says 99.9% Carlsen is dead meat, right? Now the queen goes to B3, right? Now, we're on move 21 and the game only lasts 25 moves, so how on earth can you win? Now the queen comes up to G4, star move again. The mighty Vincenti from Poland, wasn't it? It was Poland, wasn't he? He's from Poland. Queen G, he's doing some sort of Polish attack. Anyway, so D5 is played, and you think, well, hold on, what's Carlsen doing here? That doesn't seem to do anything, does it? So, queen to F5 is played. Threatening, queen takes bishop check. What does Carlsen do about that? Well, he does nothing. He puts his queen on B2. Question mark. The engine, the chess engine, is criticising Carlsen. That's right. One of the greatest players that's ever lived in the history of humanity. Right? And the chess engine's questioning him. He plays queen to B2, right? Who's going to be right in this game? Is it going to be the chess engine, the artificial intelligence, or is it going to be the mighty Carlsen, Alexander the Great? Well, let's have a look and see what happens. Bang, check. Okay, so has Black fallen for the trap, or has he just won a piece? Well, the king goes up. Oh, look at this. The rook is now attacking the queen. Well, what do you do? Well, you move back, don't you? Oh, hold on a minute. But the engine criticised Carlsen for playing queen to B2. And now Carlsen uses the queen on B2 to checkmate the black king. The mighty player from Poland has fallen. Well, that's a perfect example that Carlsen's smarter than any chess.com engine. There's no doubt about it. We've seen it here today. I'm going to take you back to the position. The chess.com engine said, here's Carlsen, he plays queen to B2, and the chess.com engine says queen to B2 is a mistake. Right? Well, Carlsen proved it wasn't, because he went on to win the game in 2 more moves. Queen takes check, 1 move, 2 moves, and it's checkmate. So Carlsen's a genius. We've always known he's a genius. And now we're going to have a look at a game from the mighty Grandmaster Carlsen. The mighty Grandmaster Carlsen. And we're going to that end, we're going to go into the analysis room. The analysis room, if I can find it, if it exists. I'm sure it exists. There it is. Bingo. Okay. And what I've chosen today, as I mentioned earlier, I've chosen the game Magnus Carlsen. This is not our friend Alexander the Great Joe Carlsen. This is the great Magnus Carlsen, the world chess champion. And today he's going to play Anish Giri, right? So we can't just be playing through the mighty Carlsen, Alexander Carlsen's games without recognising the current world chess champion, the great Magnus Carlsen. And Magnus Carlsen's playing in the Gashimov Memorial Round 7 in 2020, last year, and the opening is the English opening, King's English 4 Knights variation. Okay? So I hope you can all see that. I'll just check OBS, yes, you can see the board, that's good. And now
everything is fine.
C4 is played, and E5 is played, and Magnus Carlsen, as you know, is white, and Anish Giri is black. And they're both super grandmasters. Knight C3, Knight F6. Knight F3. And you watch the bar on the side of the board, how closely this game is contested. Knight C6. And this game, by the mighty Magnus Carlsen, was actually the game of the day in the Gashimov Memorial Tournament. So you might have had so many players playing in the tournament, and it was actually the game of the round, right? The game of the day. So Knight C6. He plays G3. He wants to fianchetto his bishop, so he controls the long diagonal. And now Anish Giri just comes forward with D5. He could have played it quieter, but that's not like Anish. He felt that he should go from balance in the position and play the D5 move. C takes D5, Knight takes D5. And now, as Alexander the Great Carlsen, remember he took the knight in this kind of position and the queen would take back and the queen would have all these powerful squares. Well, Anish Giri doesn't do that. He's a super grandmaster. So Bishop G2 is played by Carlsen, and Bishop C5 is played by Giri, by Anish. White castles and black castles. And the bar on the side of the board says the position's about equal. D3 is played, a quiet D3 and a quiet H6. I think at this stage the two players are very respectful of each other's strengths. White plays Knight takes D5 and the Queen recaptures Queen takes D5. And now A3 is played. Now the whole idea of A3 is to expand with B4 and chase the bishop and be able to fianchetto your bishop along the long diagonal. What do you think of Magnus's playing so far, Alexander?
I like it. I wish I played more like him.
They say there can only be one Carlsen, but we've proven them wrong after watching your two games, your two masterpieces. So A3, A5 was played. Now that A5 is to restrict the pawn, stopping the B pawn to go forward. Now White says, well, I can't go along the long diagonal. I'll get there anyway. I'll play Bishop D2, and then I'll go to C3, and I'll control my diagonal. Or I might even play B4 if I'm given an opportunity. So that's why he plays Bishop to D2. And Anish just slips back into Queen E6 with a safe, sound position. He might be looking at E4 later on and just exchanging a pawn and opening up lines for the black position, the black pieces. Rook c1, and now the queen slips back to e7. And now if you look at the position before that move, you can see the bishop is blocked along that diagonal. So what this move here is, it's a clearing move. So it clears the bishop to be able to move along that diagonal and have more mobility. And now Carlsen plays bishop c3. Okay. And he's trying to complete his development and just put his pieces on better squares. And now black comes in. He says, well, I don't want you expanding, so I'm going to play knight to d4 and take my chances if you want to go to an endgame. And white says, well, no, I'm not going to fall for you that sort of game. Well, I'm going to play the game that I want to play. So he plays e3. And Giri takes the knight on f3 and the queen recaptures. Okay. Bishop d6 is played. Just holding the centre pawn. It looks a bit of a passive move, bishop d6. But I can understand why he's doing it. He's concerned that Magnus might start putting pressure on that particular pawn. And also, he might want to play c5, right? And the two pawns would be, these two pawns would be protected by the bishop and stop the d pawn moving forwards. So he played bishop to d6. The queen to h5 is played. So he's playing on both sides of the board now, is Magnus. And you'll see what I'm talking about in this game here, about Magnus's, and this is all super grandmasters do this. They'll create a small fire on one side of the board, and when you run over there quickly with your little bucket of water to put out the fire on that side of the board, they'll start another little fire on the other side of the board. Yes, they're arsonists. They're arsonists. That's what they are. Because they're setting little fires all over the board all the time. Right, so they're all arsonists. Right, so c6 is played. He ignores the queen to h5. He says, oh, yeah, well, what are you going to do over there? Well, Carlsen says, well, I'm going to do something. I'm going to push my pawn up. And he plays f4. Black takes the pawn. He takes f4. And now, this is the brilliance of Carlsen. He plays g takes f4 and sacrifices the e-pawn with check. And what he's judging, he's making a fine judgment that he's going to have open lines which are more than compensation for the loss of the pawn. So Anish grabs the pawn with check. Magnus moves to the corner and he plays rook to d8 to protect his bishop, right, and to attack the d pawn, right. Magnus plays rook to c-file to e1 and offers a second pawn. So he wants him to take another pawn off. Magnus must consider that he's got such a fantastic game. If you take that pawn off, the danger is if you took the pawn off, there might be a rook left. Rook hits queen, and then rook to g6. And then you'd have a rook coming down here, a queen coming down there, and a bishop going across there, and the king would be under tremendous fire. Now, what I tell the beginners in these types of positions is if you draw a little border here to over where the queen is, now have a look at the black king within that border that I've just drawn, and you'll see there are no defendant pieces. There are no pieces within that box to defend the king. So that's why Magnus is sacrificing these pawns. He's recognising that if you can't get your pieces back to defend that little area, I'm going to come in and I'm going to throw the kitchen sink at you and you're going to drown. Right? That's the truth. So Giri says, I'll exchange queens if you'd like. And Magnus politely declines and pushes a pawn. Black rushes a piece to go back into the box to protect his king. Bishop to F8. Right?
Yeah.
Now we have a piece defending the king. And Magnus just uses his bishop on G2 to move a little bit closer and to basically cut off that side of the board. And there's only still one bishop on that side of the board, one little black bishop. Okay?
Mm.
And the white bishop is certainly more powerful than the black one. But the plan is to the G file. This bishop move is a clearing move for the rooks to go doubling up and powering down on the G file.
Mm-hmm.
So what does black do? He plays rook to D5 and he says, well, that pawn's not moving forwards. If I have anything to do with it, I will even give you a castle if you want it. He plays rook to D5. He says, take my castle. And Magnus knows that with that castle off the board and white recapturing with check, you can't really take the castle because black would, if you took the castle, black would take with the queen, push the C pawn, B pawn, bishop B7, right, and then mate him along there, basically. So
yes.
what he does, Magnus, in his own brilliance, plays rook to F3, which is a rook lift. It's called a rook lift. And the whole point of that is to switch the rook quickly to G3 after the rook here on E1 goes to G1. So you can suddenly have two rooks on the file within 2 moves attacking the king. So desperation sets in. Anish says, well, I've got to attack on the queen side. I've got to disrupt this bishop here. It's got too much power. If I can push this pawn on the bishop, I can negate the power. So Magnus plays rook G1 and says, well, it might be too late by the time you get warmed up, buddy. I'm threatening bishop takes pawn. And if bishop takes, queen takes pawn, right? Except queen takes G1 check would win the queen. So it doesn't work yet. So he needs to play this rook to G3 move. F3 to G3. So rook, Giri senses this and plays rook A7. Why? Because this way he can rush a piece over to protect his king along the rank.
Yeah.
And now, bishop to F6. He says, well, I'm just going to put the bishop down there in your face. What are you going to do about it?
Mm-hmm.
And now desperate, absolutely desperate, because you've got to stop rook to G3, rook on the F file to G3. You've got to stop that.
Can I ask you something in this position? This position exactly. If the reason why he cannot take the pawn is because of the rook on G1, right?
Yeah, if you take the pawn, the H pawn, you're quite correct, Mr. Carlsen. If you take the pawn, queen takes rook check, and you lose the rook because the pawn can then take the queen.
I see.
Okay, rightio. So that's 100% correct, and we really appreciate that, Mr. Carlsen, giving an insight into the game, right? Because you've got the right. We know your abilities. G6, we've seen them in action. G6 is played, attacking the queen, or not so much attacking the queen, but it gives black a chance to somehow capture the pawn. Black wants to capture the pawn on F5. Okay?
Yes.
That's what he wants to do. Right, because he's desperate. He needs to be able to save his position. Now, this is where you analyse the position and you say, well, hold on, he plays queen H3. Right? And now, is he threatening bishop takes rook? Well, perhaps so, because Anish moves it to d6 to give he wants to play rook takes bishop. So white plays queen to h4 and protects the bishop. The rook takes the bishop, right, to eliminate the attack, right? Queen takes f6, and now bishop e7 is played to chase the queen away. And the whole idea is black wants to set up a fortification to protect his king. He might want to be looking at something like bishop g5. We'll see what happens. Queen takes c6. Right, so this is what's played. Queen takes c6. Now, when we looked at this position earlier, we saw white play queen to h5. We saw him play queen to h5, queen to h3, queen to h4, queen to f6, and queen over there. So he's making all these queen moves. But what he's done effectively is he's built up a fire that we said he might create a fire like an arsonist on this side of the board, except this wasn't a small fire. This was a raging bushfire that Carlsen started, right? It was. But the point is, Anish Giri had to put the fire out to keep his king alive. And now what Carlsen's done in his inimitable wisdom is he's transferred the whole pressure of the game over to the ending, which he loves, on the queen side. So he's switched everything over there. The queen takes and the bishop takes. And at this stage, Anish Giri would be so happy just to not be mated, I suppose. But the position is still lost. King to g7, f takes g6, f takes g6. And now some players would just take the pawn on b5, but no. He plays d4, right? Okay? Because this pawn is a powerful pawn. It's a passed pawn. And so he wants to push the passed pawn. a4 is played. Right? Now you can't take the pawn off b5 because a bishop to b7 would pin the rook against the king. So that was a trap, right? d5 is played. And now the pawn is threatened. Bishop takes pawn is a real threat because the bishop can't go to b7 and win the rook. b4 is played, jettisons the pawn. And bishop to e8's played. Whoop. He hasn't got a bishop on the e8. Oh yes, bishop to e8's played, threatening the g pawn. Black plays bishop g5 to save the g pawn. White plays h4 to dislodge the bishop. Because once the bishop's dislodged, the g pawn falls. Bishop takes h4, rook takes g6, check. King h7. Now, all the action, the first fire, the major bushfire, started on this side of the board. And now, after that little bit of an intermezzo in the middle of the board, switching to the endgame, changing the queens off, we've still got major pieces on the board in the form of the two rooks. And now we've got some sort of like little checkmating thing coming again, where the king is caught as like a little rabbit in the hole there, and the rooks and the bishop are all screaming around it looking for blood. So anyway, after king h7, rook to c6 attacks the bishop. Now the bishop hasn't got many squares. It can't go here, can't go there, can't go there, it can't go here. So it's only got one square, bishop g4. White plays rook to f4, attacking both bishops and attacking two pawns. Black plays rook to g7 to protect his bishop, and then that is the end of the game, right? And the end of the game could be finished simply with, say, bishop checks, rook takes bishop, rook takes rook, king takes rook, rook takes bishop check, bishop here, and pawn takes pawn. And there's too many pawns, right? Too many white pawns, and that's the end of the game. And that's why Anish Giri, the mighty Anish Giri, resigned the game. Alexander, it's been a pleasure to have you, sir, Mr. Carlsen, in my chess room today. And what I'd like you to do, would you like to finish up with a couple of lightning games? Or are you all worn out?
3 minutes of
your choice, sir. Your choice, Mr. Carlsen, sir. Your choice.
Then make it. I play a lot of 3 minutes. So
3 minutes? 3 minutes it is. Just as you request. So we're just going to go back in there. Here we go. Right, just going there. And again, just for the people who have been viewing the video today, if you can just have a look, there he is, Alexander Joe Carlsen. Yes, his name really is Carlsen. And yes, he is great. He's got the name Alexander the Great. And he's from Denmark. And what we're going to play, I'm going to challenge him now to 2 3-minute games. He's a 3-minute game chess master. He's an absolute danger at 3-minute chess. I've got to be careful. Right, here we go. I'm nervous.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, God, love you.
I only see the 6, but I cannot push my bishop.
You better not think too much. It's only 3 minutes.
I know. Oh no. Oh no. That's a good move. Oh, I screwed up already. Oh no.
Bishop takes 9.
No. Bishop takes 9. Yes, that was my thought too.
Of course. Bishop d6 was better.
Yes. Of course. I just realized. Uh-oh. I don't want to castle that way. But do I have a choice? I don't think so.
Oh, there's a busted king.
Yeah, that's not good. Oh, I see what you're doing.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. All I'm doing is doubling the pawns.
I would have said that too.
Don't forget your clock. You've only got 1 minute and 34 seconds.
Oh no.
What a good move. Damn. What a master.
Oh, I'm too slow. No, too slow. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. Stop killing me, John.
You set a trap for me. if I took the rook, you would have played bishop takes pawn check and won my queen.
Yeah, that's true. No tricks working here, unfortunately.
Are they working? They're working for me.
Yeah, I see.
I feel honoured to... I feel...
Oh,
there's a queen.
No!
Oh, you got to check for it. Oh well. So you're going to have the white pieces this time. Rematch.
One more time, rematch.
Rematch.
Yes. Accept.
Right, you got the white bits.
Okay.
This is our final game, sir. This is our final game.
Then let's
show me what you're really made of, sir. Mr. Carlsen, sir.
Oh no! I'm too slow today. I can't play chess. Oh, you're too good, John. I can't keep up with this. You're eating me alive. That's not a good check. I don't want to take that pawn. Looks dangerous. But now, maybe. I'm not sure. Oh, you. Uh-oh. No. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm in trouble here. That can't be good. That can't be good. Oh, no. I misclicked. No. It doesn't matter. I misclicked. I should have gone bishop f4. Bishop f4.
That was the losing move. You actually played a good move. Bishop f4 was a losing move. You played a good move.
Did I play a good move?
Yes. Bishop f4 was a bad move.
I find it hard to believe.
Watch your clock. You better watch your clock.
Yeah, I see. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Not now.
Yeah, now it's not okay. Oh no. No, oh no, I'm so dead lost here. Yeah. Should have thought about that.
It's okay, you got 20 seconds.
Yeah, I don't see anything here. Oh, I should have seen this, but I didn't. Yeah, GG. You had a mate? You had that mate too.
Well, I was dead lost in that game. We'll analyse that one game and then we'll finish up. Okay, Mr. Carlsen? If that's okay with you, sir. But again, you were playing like a demon as usual. As I said, your mother called you Alexander because you're great, and you are great because you played a brilliant game. C4, knight, C, right?
I don't think that was brilliant, though.
have a look at what happened. Nimzo Indian, Queen C2, book move, C5, pawn takes pawn, book move, knight A6, book move, pawn there, bishop takes knight, check, book move, knight takes pawn, book move, B4, all theory, knight the C file to E5. And of course, we know it's theory because you create the theory, don't you, sir? Right, Queen C2. Now I played D5, I thought, star move, best move. Amazing. Pawn there. Now I should play knight D6. I thought here, I'm going to play a bullshit move against Carlsen and see if I can get away with it. Now have a look at the bar on the side of the board. It says white's winning. Knight to H3 was the best move. It says F takes G4 is a missed win. I played check. I missed the best move. Look, I should play queen here, threatening your castle and threatening check down there.
Yeah.
And I missed it.
I see.
So I gave you a check and you hit me. So I thought, what do I do now? Well, I should still move back here and threaten your castle and threaten your king with check. But I must have been bewildered and dazzled by your brilliance and confused. So I took the pawn, which is a mistake. And then you played knight there, star move, and have a look at the bar on the side of the board. You're killing me. And then I played queen there. I was still dying. And then you took my knight, best move, star move. You're outplaying me again. So I took a pawn with check. And then you moved your king. And I thought, can I hustle him? Can I hustle him? And I took a pawn, trying to clear an open file for my rooks. And I'm still dead lost according to the engine. And you're 2 pieces up. And then you hit my queen, so I thought, I'll run away and check. And I thought, please, Mr. Carlsen, don't put your queen in between, because I don't want to change. And what did you do? You put your bishop there. I said, thank you, sir, thank you. Thank you very much.
I should have put my queen.
Of course you should have. And then I played bishop D7. But look, you're still winning. Look at the bar on the side of the board.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you played rook hits pawn. Another brilliant move. And I thought, oh, no, this is no good. So I played rook there. I thought, I'll play another bullshit move. And you took the pawn off, which is a good move. King C1 was best. Then I played F6 just to stop your knights coming at me. And you played bishop G2. I castled. I finally played a good move. Then I went there. I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll just confuse you and hit your bishop. And then see what you did. You played knight, but you played the best move. Star move, knight to E1. So I gave you a check. and then you moved your king there, best move, star move, and you're still winning. According to the bar on the side of the board, you're smashing me. So I played rook to d6, and I thought, please, Mr. Carlsen, sir, make a blunder, make a blunder. It's the only way I can beat Carlsen if he makes a blunder. And then you played queen there. Now, this is where you said, oh, I should have played bishop hits queen. But if you hit the queen, I could have played queen takes knight check. Now you played the right move. You played the right move. You played queen there, which is a good move. So then I had to run away. So I'm hoping you're going to move your knight so I can checkmate you down here, right?
Yeah.
You could move, right? So that's what I'm hoping. And so you moved your king. You should have pinched a pawn. So I doubled my rooks on your bishop, then you didn't see it. So I thought, I'll take that. And then you went there, and I thought, you beauty, I'll take the bishop as well. And then it's lost.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. But listen, Mr. Carlsen, sir, Alexander the Great, I really want to thank you for coming in today, okay? And giving pleasure to me and to all the people on my channel, on my YouTube channel, okay? And we'll keep in touch. We'll keep in touch. And perhaps another day we might have another training session with the great Carlsen. The great Carlsen.
I really hope I improve by then.
That's an understatement. You played brilliant chess tonight. And I'd like to thank you again. But with that, I'm going to say arrivederci, goodbye. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless your Alexander Joe Photography Company. And I hope you do well. I hope you do well with your business business interests. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye for now. And I'm going to end my stream.